Let me get started by introducing our first speaker. Mayor Thompson was a United States Air Force C-130 pilot from 1970 to 1979. Mayor Thompson served from 1996 to 2005 on the City of Sugarland City Council as a district and at-large council member, and is serving his first term as mayor of Sugarland. He was involved in major mobility projects, in the creation of the town center, the development of Sugarland Regional Airport, numerous additions to the city park system, acquisitions of land for the Brazos River Corridor, and the establishment of the University of Houston campus in Sugarland. Please welcome the Mayor of Sugarland, Mayor Thompson.
Thank you much for that introduction, and I appreciate it. And I want to thank the UIL, the Houston chapter, for letting Sugarland be a part of this program. It's quite an honor to be here and talk about our community. Before we get started and talk a little bit about what we have done in the past and also a current project we're working on, I think it's appropriate to talk a little bit about the city of Sugarland and give you kind of a mosaic or a picture of our community, because I think the public-private partnership has been ingrained into our community for many years. The Sugarland area dates back to the late 1800s. Actually, but our city is only 50 years old. We celebrated our 50th year anniversary last year, and years ago we got our name from Imperial Sugar. The Imperial Sugar was located there back in the turn of the century, the 1900s, when the state of Texas was growing as a new state in the Union. They built a prison system, and they built it really in 3 locations in the state of Texas, Huntsville 1, Sugarland area 1, and then Roche-Sharon. So at that time, the owners of Imperial Sugar, and I think this is kind of fascinating, contacted the state. They made an agreement with them and basically sold them 50% of their plantation, almost 12,000 acres, with the caveat that they used the prison labor to farm the sugar cane, and so hence that's kind of the roots of our community. But the Imperial Sugar, as they grew, in 1959 they could see the encroachment of Houston, and they basically incorporated to the city of Sugarland. So even though we're a young city, our roots go back quite a ways. The thing, currently today, we're a city of about 85,000 residents. We have a assessed value, our tax base is a little over $9 billion, and we have the second lowest tax rate in the state of Texas is 30 cents. We are a city manager form of government, and we have a 7-member council, 4 single-member districts and 2 at large. And so as I was listening to Tom's speech today, I almost felt like we could be a textbook case for some of the things that he talked about, being a suburbia. We have many years ago, the city council got together and we really tried to create a vision for our community, and there's 3 words that we kind of go back and prioritize, and we call it live, work, and play. Obviously, we're a residential suburban community. We have been very aggressive in our economic development, and we've created that suburban business community that he referenced. As a matter of fact, one of the highlights of our city is just several years ago we brought the Minute Maid Corporation to Sugarland, which is their world headquarters, and we think that's significant. And now we're looking at that 3rd component, the play, and we're looking at some of the residential. And now that we have that again, as I say, and now we're starting to look at some of the impact of the citizens and the lifestyle issues. Going back when Imperial Sugar created the city of Sugarland, we are probably the true definition of a company town. Imperial Sugar, they built the housing for their employees. They built the streets and the infrastructure of our city. They own the drugstore. They own the automobile dealership. They own the hospital. They own the funeral home. They own the feed store. They own the hospital. So you could pretty much, you could live, actually you could born and die right there in Sugarland. Even the funeral home, they own the funeral home. Sugarland has its own script. The employees would just go literally sign at any of these and it would come out of their payroll. So it really is a definition of a company town. One of the things we did in this vision, we had a group of citizens that created a vision document, and we have some undevelopable land. It was about a 25-person group It consisted of the developer itself, landowners, elected officials, citizens, business leaders. And we started looking at the different things that we would like to bring to Sugarland. And one of the things that was identified was minor league baseball. And that's one of the things I want to talk to you about where we are today. One of the areas, let me see if I can get this first slide. We created a vision, and we wanted to create a sustainable center for minor league baseball. We are looking at a first-class AAA facility with family amenities. This facility will be a multi-use. We will get into college sports, high school sports, tournaments, concerts, and many other uses. We had looked at several sites. One of the things that we did was put out an RFQ, a request for qualifications, and actually this came out of a trip that the council took to the East Coast, and we looked at some of the other communities, and we really saw the impact that these minor league baseball parks had on the ancillary development. And we started looking, and we said, you know, we need to talk to some of the private development communities, back to that public-private partnership again. And we put out a response, and we got 3 responses back, and we chose a partnership with the Johnson Development Corporation. As you know, the Johnson Group is a fee-paid developer. The actual land was bought by a Cherokee group in conjunction with the Texas Land Office. And so they were the successor, and so we're actually relocating. And one of the things that we wanted to do was energize the redevelopment of the Imperial Sugar site, which is one of the primary objectives of that redevelopment. And a little bit later, I think in the question and answer period, I will talk about the economic impact of that. So this is a public-private partnership. Again, we've had a strong history of that in Sugarland. I think going back to it's our culture. It's our culture. You go back, and we will talk again. I know that we have 2 quality developers here today on the panel, and one of them is Les Newton, and going back to our town square. So we really believe in this concept. We put money into this concept, and I think the real key is the partnership that you pick, and it's certainly been successful for us. But this will be a public-private partnership between the City of Sugarland. We picked a group called Opening Day Partners, which will be actually the operator and owner of the team. The way it's structured is the City of Sugarland will own the stadium, and we will have a 25-year lease with Opening Day Partners. And for those that are baseball fans in this room, one of the principal partners of this group is Brooks Robinson. For those that, again, are baseball fans, Brooks was probably noted as the greatest third baseman that's ever played the game. He's actually going to come down this next month. He's been down several times prior, and I've had the privilege to spend time with him. And of course, yeah, I think you can readily see the expertise in the baseball community having someone of that caliber. The third partner of this public-private partnership obviously will be the Johnson Development Corporation itself, preferred site developer. They have been an extremely valuable partner, and not only that, have actually donated land to this project because they can see the impact it's going to have on their overall project. And then we mentioned Cherokee Group itself, the financial partner, and the Texas Land Office. And really the rationale, again, is to energize this whole area, and we will talk a little bit about the impact of the number of people that come through. Total project cost, we've got a budget of a little over $40 million. Opening Day Partner itself will actually contribute $5 million to the stadium construction itself. They have an additional $5 million in the project. The additional $5 is they will pay a franchise to the league itself, and then they have the startup cost of not only the ball team, they will create a new ball team, and of course offices. The way we've structured our agreement is ODP will be responsible for all operations and maintenance. One of the caveats of Sugarland when we get into a public-private partnership is we want to be the vehicle to get these projects launched, but once we put the public money into it, we want to assume no risk of the operations. And so in that case, they will assume all risk of the operations. We will have a 25-year commitment on the lease itself. The stadium will be approximately a $25 million facility. Then we'll have an additional $5 million the city will be responsible for both site parking and then also we will do some underground and some infrastructure development. Our funding sources, we will be using a sales tax revenue, one of our 4 B corporations, and we will sell revenue bonds for that. One of the agreements that we made with the public when we started this venture is there will be no increases in taxes and there will be no impact to our general fund. And so that is a commitment, and we have enough financial capacity in our 4B corporation to support this, the debt.